From the first snap to the last snap, I'm going out on my shield. Everything I got, every single play. Give me everything. You do that, we'll wipe this, and I'll wipe.
Just see a little clip they always like to post. They like to throw that little interception return. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
The Ravens flock rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? What's up, Bills fans? If you're watching, my name is Ryan. Welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown Game Preview episode. We got an absolute banger on Sunday night, headlining the divisional round of the playoffs. This is going to be special. And it's also going to be cold. There's been a ton of talk all week about how cold this game is, who it benefits. I've seen both sides arguing who it benefits. I think both teams will be fine in the cold. If anything, it does benefit a stronger run game, I would say, and that is Baltimore, but we'll dive into that in a second. I'm also seeing some people say that it's going to be a snow game unless something changes. I've looked at the weather multiple times. It definitely is going to flurry and have some light snow. There's a 20% chance of snow pretty much all day and night. So it could change. There could be a weather shift, I guess, coming across the lakes, and it ends up snowing a lot more than we think. But from my understanding, it's just very light snow. It's not like the field's going to be covered with snow or anything. I think that the temperatures are going to be the biggest factor in this. And from an injury standpoint, both teams are very healthy. I don't think the Bills are missing any key guys at all, so they're fully loaded for this game. The Ravens are also very healthy besides Zay Flowers, obviously. But we did get some encouraging Zay Flowers news today. Take it for what you want, but Harbaugh did say there's a chance he'll be out there Sunday.
I think he'll have a chance.
Last week, the Ravens ruled Zay Flowers out 2 days before the Steelers game. He's not ruled out now. It's going to be a game-time decision. He has not been practicing with the team, though, so that is what, to me, probably gives him an outside chance, but there is a chance. He's not ruled out like he was last week. But with the weather report and the injuries out of the way, let's dive into this game. Let's talk about some football. We'll start with the Ravens offense versus Bills defense.
And it's been a few years since you played them in the playoffs, but does that last playoff game matter to you? Do you think about that now?
Yeah. I just saw it. Like I just see a little clip they always like to post. Like they like to throw that little interception return. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that, though.
This Ravens team is locked in, man. I am not just saying that. There is a different feel. There is a different energy from the players, especially Lamar Jackson. I have not seen this type of look in his eyes, that this confidence that he's carrying. He's always been confident. He's always been an elite competitor. There's no doubt he wouldn't be doing the things he was if he wasn't. As a diehard Ravens fan, I've closely watched Lamar Jackson's career, and I can confidently tell you he's never had this type of look. He's never had this type of energy. He's became way more of a vocal leader this year, and he's got that greatness look in his eyes, man. This is some Jordan shit. And the Ravens offense this year, led by Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, has put up historic numbers this year. I do not see that slowing down against the Buffalo Bills. I don't care how cold it is. I think that really benefits our run game. This is really going to be a dominant game on the ground, just like it has been for the last month or so. I don't think the Ravens' offensive game plan should change too much. Run early and often, bunch of 2 tight end sets, bring in the extra linemen. We ran 16 plays last week against the Steelers with 6 linemen on the field. So we're going to bring out the big boys, and Buffalo is not used to doing that. They run a very lighter personnel. They love to have 6 DBs on the field, and that ain't going to work. So they're going to have to get out of their comfort zone. They're going to have to go bigger, play more physical, and I just really feel like this game is built for the Ravens to dominate on the ground. So run the read option, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry early and often. If the Bills are doing a good job of stopping it, I don't think the Ravens should go away, but they can always adjust in game. We've talked all year about how this is a pick your poison offense. The Ravens have a ton of weapons downfield too. Even in short passing situations, they can really hit Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews and use those tight ends to their advantage, who are always creating mismatches and beating their one-on-one matchups. So I think the Ravens have a lot of options if the run game does get slowed down. But my prediction for this is that their Bills have no shot of slowing this run game down. I think the Ravens are going to completely control this game on the ground. And we'll talk about the Bills offense against the Ravens defense in a second. But even if the Bills go up 10 or 14. Let's say they get up 2 scores, kind of like last year where the Ravens fell behind early to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. They got away from what they do. I don't think they should do that in this game. I don't think they will because they got Derrick Henry this time. We were running with Gus Edwards last year. But I really think the Ravens should stick to their game plan. Even if they're down 14-0, continue to run the ball. It's going to break open. The Buffalo defense will wear down. We've seen it every single week. There's no defense in the league that has shut down the Ravens run game when they commit to it. So I'm expecting Henry 25-plus carries. Lamar's probably going to get 10, 15 himself. I just think this is a heavy game on the ground. Make Buffalo sell out to stop that. And if they sell out too much, they're going to be very vulnerable downfield. At that point, it's just hitting the open guy. Lamar Jackson has proven that he can do that all season long. 41 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. I don't really see a way that this Ravens offense gets slowed down. And that's even with the Ravens offensive line having some question marks and playing inconsistent throughout the season. You know, we know that McCary and Falele are not the absolute answers at guard, and we've struggled against some teams with strong fronts in the past, but we haven't really struggled even against strong fronts in the last month and a half. This offensive line has really stepped up when it matters, and I don't expect anything different in this game. Why should we? Why should we expect this offensive line to take a step back? They've proven that they're more than capable of winning the trenches battle. I mean, we just ran against the Pittsburgh Steelers for 300 rushing yards. That is a lot on the offensive line, man. They are dominant up front right now, and they're playing pissed off, and they know their responsibility, man. If they block well, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are going to execute at the highest level possible. I mean, these are 2 Hall of Famers. Imagine playing with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and you're an offensive lineman. You're going to elevate your play to make sure that you're doing everything that you can so that they can succeed, because if McCary's getting blown up and Falele's getting blown up and they're getting in the backfield instantly, then all of a sudden Henry and Lamar aren't able to do what they're doing. So I expect the offensive line to win this trenches battle again. They got to play clean. They can't have holding penalties like they've had in the past. They can't have illegal formations. We got to be locked in on the assignment. And we haven't seen a lot of those mistakes for a month and a half. So I really have to believe that the corner's been turned and this Ravens offensive line is going to continue to play like they have been playing. And if that's the case, this run game is going to go absolutely crazy. I got Derrick Henry going over 150 in this game. 2 touchdowns. If the Ravens hold on to the ball, play a clean game, don't have a ton of penalties, their offense is not going to get stopped. I'd be absolutely shocked, man. I'm telling you. I know Bills fans have confidence in their defense. They should have more confidence in their offense. I think the Bills offense is going to pose some problems for the Ravens defense, but I do not see this Bills defense being able to stop this Ravens offense consistently. Will they get a couple stops? Absolutely. I mean, nobody's going to score every drive, but I'm telling you right now, the Ravens are going to put up some points in this game. Now let's head over to the Bills offense versus the Ravens defense. This is where it gets more interesting, I think. There's definitely some advantages for the Bills here. It's not as lopsided. I think the Ravens offense is way better than the Bills defense, but I don't think that's the case on the other side of the ball. The Bills have the 3rd best offense in the NFL right now, led by an MVP candidate and Josh Allen. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not worried about them putting up some points, especially through the air. I think that the Bills want to rely on a balanced attack and get that ground game going, and their offensive line is a very strong unit. Our defensive line has to play their best game, man, because we cannot allow the Bills running game to get going. They're going to want to get that run game going. They ran for 200 yards against the Broncos. That opens up everything. We do it ourselves. We know how powerful a strong run game is. But the Bills are going against the number 1 rush defense in the NFL. So who's going to break? Are the Ravens letting the Bills run and gash them for 6-7 yards a carry? Then we got out for a long day, man. The Bills are going to put up a ton of points. We need to shut down the run. I think that's priority number 1. Shut down James Cook, shut down their run game, make them more one-dimensional than they want to be. I'm not saying Allen's not capable of hitting people downfield, but it's going to be 10 degrees. We're going to play tight coverage. It is not going to be easy. There's going to be some tight windows that he's going to have to consistently throw through while also avoiding pressure. I'd rather play that game than have the Bills gashing us for runs and mixing in passes whenever they want, and we're just on our toes and have no idea what's going on. So priority number one, as always, stop the run. And I think the Ravens have a great opportunity to do that because of their strong front with Matabike, Travis Jones, Michael Pierce clogging the middle. Look out for Tavius Robinson in this game too, man. I really feel like he's coming on. And then our linebackers too, great at stopping the run, led by Roquan Smith. Malik Harrison has been coming on this last half of this season as a big run stopper. Not that we're surprised that he's a run stopper. He's more vulnerable in the pass coverage. But Malik Harrison, Chris Board have been doing a great job next to Roquan Smith. And I feel like this Ravens defense is completely built to stop the run. We just have to go out there and execute that because it is very important that the Bills can't get their run game going or everything opens up. Now, Josh Allen's going to still improvise. He's still going to get some runs off on us. He's probably going to break some big runs on third down and have these crazy conversions. He's going to piss us off. Josh Allen's going to also rise to a level of greatness in this game. I just have to assume that. I mean, he is a special player. I'm not sitting here disrespecting the Bills at all. I respect the talent that they have. I think this is going to be a very hard-fought game, and we have some vulnerabilities in our pass defense. Brandon Stevens, Tre'Davious White, I think that those would be the smart matchups for the Bills to create and target. And I'm expecting the Bills offense to have a way better day than they did in week 4. I mean, this divisional round of the playoffs, the Bills have been playing great. We can toss the records out of the window. I don't want to hear that argument, though. Ravens' schedule is, 10 times harder than the Bills. Just look at the division we had to fight through, but the Ravens have beaten every single AFC playoff team besides the Chiefs, but including the Bills. So, the schedules to me are out the window, but the Bills are still a really high-powered team playing their best football right now. So are the Ravens, and I expect the Bills to put up a lot more points than 10. So I do think the Bills are going to have some success through the air. They're going to catch us on some plays. The most important thing in this game is really shutting down the run and then getting pressure to Allen as much as we can. He's going to roll out, break a sack. He's going to take off for a run, but we need to do our best job of hitting him as often as we can. We need to put pressure on Allen. Van Noy, Owe on the edge, Matabike inside. They need to be special. And Matabike was last week, showed why he got $25 million a year. In the wild card game against the Steelers, he had 2 sacks, showed us why he got that huge contract in the offseason. He needs to follow it up and be the star of that defensive line. We need a huge game from Matabike, consistently getting pressure. And that will not only disrupt the Bills' timing and take away what they want to do, but it'll also alleviate a lot of pressure from the Ravens secondary, where I think there are some vulnerabilities back there. So the Ravens defense has everything that they need to get this job done. It's just about execution at this point. It's about hitting them as hard as they've ever been hit. It's about playing fast and physical. It's about bringing the fight to them for 4 quarters. This defense needs to play pissed off.
Finish him!
So with saying all that, you probably assume that I'm picking the Ravens to win. I am. But I do expect this to be a close game, man. As much as I think that the Ravens have the edge in this game, I truly believe the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. I'm not even being biased. I just watch them a lot. I watch a lot of other teams. I don't see anybody operating like Baltimore. They just beat themselves sometimes. So hopefully that's not the case in this game. But and I don't expect that to be the case. But I do expect this to be a heavyweight fight. I expect it to be a close game. I think the Ravens and Bills are going to be at their best. I am not expecting a blowout or anything like that. I think that this is going to be a very, very tough, stressful game, unfortunately. So my Ravens-Bills score predictions, I got the Ravens winning 28-24. I think this is a close game. I think this is a stressful game for both Ravens and Bills fans. I think this is a dominant game on the ground for the Ravens. I got Derrick Henry going over 150 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 25 plus carries. I think Lamar Jackson adds 10 to 15 carries himself. We're going to bring in heavy personnel, 2 tight end sets, bring an extra lineman in. We're going to force the Bills to go heavy, which is out of their comfort zone. And I think that's a huge edge for the Ravens offense. On the flip side, I do got the Bills scoring 24. I don't think that we're shutting them down like we did in week 4. I think that this Ravens defense is playing their best football right now, but the Bills offense is also very potent, and I'm not disrespecting what Josh Allen is capable of doing, but I think that the Ravens really limit the Bills' run game in this game and shut down James Cook for the most part, and the Bills love to have a balanced attack. Like I said, they ran for 200 yards last week. That creates a lot more options in the offense. The Baltimore Ravens do the the same thing. So if we can shut down the run, the Ravens do have the #1 rush defense in the NFL. So I don't see why they can't slow this run game down. And if we stop this run game and make them more one-dimensional, I think that is just more of an edge for this Ravens defense to get a couple stops. And this Ravens offense runs the clock and controls the game on the ground in this one. So 28-24 Ravens. Let me know what your score predictions are, bold predictions for this game. I cannot wait, man. It is going to be a special one. Embrace this feeling as a fan. Embrace the fact that we're both, even if you're a Bills fan, we're both in the playoffs still. But we'll see what happens, man. I appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Go Ravens. And I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The Flock Rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.